Hello and welcome to It's Probably Coding. Today we're going to do a double whammy. We're going to talk about for loops and while loops. Beginner programming though, if you want to learn what these are, stay for the first minute, figure it out, leave a like and then leave. But if you really want to put this stuff into practice and you want to really learn how to do it, stay to the end of the video. So a while loop. A while loop is you say, while this condition is true, run this code block. And if you run this code block and you don't break out, run it again and again and keep going. Keep running it until you break. If you break out of the while loop, then it goes to whatever the next line of your code is. So while loop will run over and over and over and over and over until the condition is broken, or if it straight up breaks at the end, and then it runs to your next line of code. So the while loop will run indefinitely until you break out of it. A for loop is very, very different. So a for loop, a for loop is, let's say you have a list. Actually, let me do this again. Let's say you have a list of colors. So you have blue, you have red, and you have green. We'll say we have a list of all these things here. And if you have a list of these things and you want to do something with each of them, use the for list. So the for loop goes, all right, let's go to the first item on this list, which is the 0. It's not first, it's 0 when you count a list like where they are. This is 0. Do something. So do something. So it's going to do something to this. Then it's going to say done. Let's go to the next item. Let's go to the next item, which is red. And this is number 1 spot in the list. And it'll do something. And after it's done doing something, it'll go to the next one. Now, if you have, say, Valentine's Day cards and you want to write from Lou on each of them, you have to do 1, write from Lou, flip to the next one, from Lou, flip to the next one. What a for loop does is it does that instantly, one at a time, boom, 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 until you're done. So if you type in for item number 1, write for Lou, and then go to the next one. That's what it does. So we're going to give you examples of both. Let's make a while loop first. While true, which everything's always true. Print hello. And then let's get a user's input. Let's get the input. We'll set the variable as X, so it's super easy. Input, type your name. No, type randomly or Q to quit. I think that works. I'm going to put a colon and a space. So what it's going to do is it's going to say hello. Then it's going to say to the user, type randomly or Q to quit. So if X equals Q, I'll put a colon there. Then I'm going to say break. But you know what? I'll say goodbye first. So print goodbye. Man, my fingers today. Goodbye. And then it'll break. Otherwise, let's say it does nothing. So it'll only break if I type Q. Will this work? Let me click on run. Hello, type randomly. Enter. Hello, type randomly. Enter. Type randomly. Type randomly. And then if I type Q, it says goodbye. So what it does is it runs. So while true, which is it's true, it'll say print hello. It'll ask the user to type randomly. It takes that and jumps right back. Now, the only if condition, which is if the user's input equals Q, print goodbye and break. But we didn't get here, right? Because this first input that I put was not Q, so it just jumped back to the start. And it'll continue jumping back to the start until it meets the break condition. Now, if you don't set a break condition, this while loop will go on forever. There's no way to break out of it. So make sure you set your condition to break out. Now, let's talk about for loops. So let's say I have a list and I should have saved this. So blue, red, and what did I say? I think green, whatever, green. Perfect. So we have a list now. And what I want to do is I want to go through this list. Actually, you know what? Let's pull up our AI. Let's pull up our AI. Create a new chat. You are my personal coding assistant. I am a beginner Python user. Make a for loop for beginners to show me how to use them. And I'm going to press enter. And it should, I'm happy to help you with for loops. Okay, so I'm going to copy this first one. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to paste it. For each variable in sequence, I used I. I used I in my earlier thing. But anyway, for variable in sequence, do this code. Okay, let me open up my AI again. So the variable is the name given to each item in the list. So during each iteration, each time it jumps to the next thing. Sequence is the list. So sequence is the list, which we didn't actually make. So sequence equals a list. Okay, so that's what it pretty much would do. So for fruit in fruits. Oh, that's actually a good one. Let me copy this. Let me copy this and paste the list that the AI made for me. So the list is called fruits. And in here we have, by the way, the single quote or double quotes. It's the same thing. It works the same way. We have apple string, banana string, and a cherry string here. A cherry string. And then I'm going to copy this. So for fruit in fruits, print the fruit. I'm going to type in for I in fruit. So I, apple is the first item, I, banana is the second item, and cherry is the third item. So here I want to print the item. So what'll happen is it'll print apple, print banana, and then print cherry. Apple, banana, and cherry. I like what the AI did there. It really explains things quite well. For num in numbers, print num. Okay, I think that really explains it, but I want to do one more thing. Use enumerate and show each item in the list printed, same as before, but with their number beside. Man, I can't type today. We can use the enumerate function to print. What else does it say here? For index value in enumerate. Okay, fruits, banana, da, da, da. Okay, I'm going to use that one. I'm going to use this one right here. Copy. So here's my fruits list. Let me stop. For index, so the index, so each of these, fruit, which is a single one, I can change that to I. I'll change that to I because that's what we used before. In fruits, but I enumerated fruits with the enumerate method. Enumerate means give each of these guys their number. So this will be 0, and that'll be 1, and that'll be 2. By the way, lists always start counting from 0. That's all. That's why I'm saying 0. Print number. So the index, it'll print the index number, and then it'll print the fruit. So it'll print 0, apple. Then it'll print, as it loops back, it'll say 1, banana, and then 2, cherry. So I run this. Oh, something happened there. Oh, because I didn't change that to I. I changed this to I. Sorry, let me try that again. Number 0, fruit, apple. Number 1, fruit, banana. Number 2, fruit, cherry. Now, that's kind of weird because if you type in like Rudy and then Jane and then Lou and you say seat number and then person. So let me change this a little bit. Let me run that. Let's say you were assigning seats to people and you wanted to assign Rudy, Jane, and Lou all to a seat. Just, boom, just like that. Well, seat number 0 is kind of weird, isn't it? It's kind of weird. Who's going to sit in seat 0? We want to seat number 1. So all I have to do is person I. So that's the person. So that's Lou. But the index is the number because we enumerated. The index is the number. So if the first index is 0, why don't I just put a +1 there? Index 0. So now 0 would actually be 1. And Jane, which would be 1, is now going to be 2. So if I run this, it just fixes everything. Now, people say you shouldn't really do that. Sometimes you get problems. There are other ways to do it. You can add it up here. I think this is the easiest way to understand. You can add a +1 to the index number, which is 0, 1, and 2, for it to show 1 up. So instead of 0, you get 1, and it's not. The zero's gone now. Anyway, I hope you understood what a while loop and a for loop is. I hope we put it into practice, and I always encourage you to mess around with this in your own way, create your own program, have some fun with it, and leave your code in the comments so our community can jump on you and say, good job, or maybe there's a better way you could do this, or something. Please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.